I'm Roger Kaufman. I am now Distinguished Research Professor at the Sonora, Mexico Institute of Technology, Professor Emeritus at Florida State University, consulting faculty at Excelsior College in business and technology, and all other kinds of nefarious things that I do from time to time. I've been involved in HPT before it was HPT. I was original signator to NSPI, National Society for Program Instruction, when the recently late Gabe Ofish decided that there was something really to this business of predictable performance improvement. And because he was with the Air Force, he was able to put together some great minds, excluding me, and we actually started the organization. I was the first president of New York University, New York chapter. I didn't volunteer. Gabe called me one morning and said, "Guess what you're doing?" And I did. So actually I was here from the beginning, and I hope I'm not here for the funeral. My greatest HPT influences were my mother, who always asked me to justify everything that I did. The other people, my mentors, was a guy that we should know more about. His name was Joe Tucker. And if any of you remember the history of programmed instruction, he was Norman Crowder's boss. Norman invented branching type programming at the Air Force in Colorado, and Joe Tucker was his boss. And it was during the time when the behaviorists, who are now my good friends, said, "This is nonsense. The real thing is Skinnerianism." And this was now more like Gestalt and holistic, which really appealed to me. And then actually now it's the basic model for computer-assisted instruction. So we are now coming back to the beginning. Interesting applications, I've been lucky. I've had a lot. The most recent was that the Asia Pacific Human Resource Management Congress decided to give me a leadership award. And while I was there, I met with the Chief Executive Officer of Tata Industry, which we don't hear much about here in the United States, but it's one of the largest companies in the world. Interesting ones, I've met with presidents of countries like Argentina on the question of, for instance, in Argentina, how do we get the country back to economic social viability? So I like dealing with the bigger pictures, not just the plumbing electrical work, which we now call HPT. And it's not that that isn't important, because it is. Because sooner or later we have to get from what is to what should be in terms of results. But first we have to know we're headed in the right direction. And I think the first thing we really have to do is, are we adding value, measurable value, to external clients, including society? And then align that with everything that we use, do, produce, and deliver. I think if there's great disconnects in our field now, it's that we tend to look at that micro and process level and assume that if we do well, it's going to add value up the organization. And that's a little bit like the old analogy of rearranging the deck chairs of the Titanic more efficiently and effectively. But it still runs into the iceberg. And so that's why I think we have to make sure that our mission is very, very clear and that it adds value to society. The HPT term, by the way, that's a term that I don't care for. And I don't know really where it came from. And Bob Mager is the only one that overtly will agree with me. H seems to limit it just humans, and humans work in an environmental, organizational context and societal context. And that sort of gets people focused too narrowly on just the micro level, and not the fact that these people are a vital cog in the whole organizational societal network. So I would rather say organizational and societal performance improvement or accomplishment. Technology still has that ring of thingness. And I think when we use HPT, it sort of slots us into plumbers and electricians, rather than what Don Toasty calls the scalable tool that we have that we can apply to any size operation, from the world to countries to states to cities to organizations and then to individual people. So how do I define HPT? To me it's a very simple concept, and it seems to communicate well. HPT is about defining and delivering success and being able to prove it.